Hi, my name's Jonny, and today we are taking a look at the bass soul food from Electro Harmonix. There's so much soul inside me and this pedal. So this pedal is the bass version of the already really popular Soul Food from Electro Harmonix. The Soul Food is kind of like a clon-esque kind of distortion, quite transparent sounding, and that meaning that your clean tone isn't too affected. It sounds really nice. Well, that's the feel that I get anyway from these pedals. Thank you so much to Jay for lending me this unit. I've been having so much fun getting to know this unit. This pedal retails at £85 here in the UK. And I think that that is a great price for both the features that you get on here, the amount of tones that you can get, and the overall quality of this pedal. That is built like a tank. That is not going to let you down, I don't think. Ooh, that sounds like quality. I think this pedal kind of has everything you'd want out of an Overdrive. Let's start by taking a look at the knobs. On the top left here, we've got a master volume, which is so handy. Personally, when I hit on a distortion, I want the volume to increase a little bit. So it's blending in more with the guitars, but it gives more of a girth, you know, when you put it on. There's nothing worse than hitting on a distortion or an overdrive and it drops out. That, to me, is the opposite effect I want. I don't want it to overload signal and overload the overall mix of the band. But as you're adding distortion, like I said, you're blending more with those distorted guitars. And so that slight volume increase that you can give is just hits the spot, really does its job in giving you an overall boost. So a really handy feature. Underneath that, we have a blend knob. Thank God! I wish that every Overdrive pedal had this. This was something that was missing on the Downtown Express that we looked at the other week. Blend in your clean tone with it. So all the way off, it's just your clean tone. And then the further you move the knob clockwise, further you go clockwise, the more of the distorted side it blends into the tone. And you've got drive, controlling the amount of overdrive that is in the signal, and a treble knob, because that means that we can blend in how much high end is in that signal. Because when you've got an overdrive, you don't want it to be just one kind of muffled sound. You want to be able to control how much treble and presence is in there. It depends if you want a really vintage sounding subtle overdrive, you're playing fingerstyle, something like that, or if you want it balls to the wall, clangy as hell, distorting the sound waves and punching through that mix. And then another tiny little feature is this little switch. So if you turn it on and the switch is up, we've got a minus 10 dB, or if you hit it and it's down, it will just be a 0 dB. Personally, I don't really have a function for taking off dB. Like I said, I want it to have a bit of a boost. So if I were to do that and turn it on and it pulls it back a little bit, that's not really what I want how it to function. However, if you've got a really hot sounding bass or a really boomy signal that you don't want to be made more boomy, you can minus that dB on there. But you could also combat that by just rolling down the volume and turning it on, just getting that balance right. I certainly think that the volume knob is easier to manage. It's not just 0 dB or minus 10 dB, you kind of have more of a control using the volume knob. But of course, it's not just about volume, it's about that boomy bass that you have as well. So that might be a way to combat that if you've got that really subby sound and you want to add some overdrive to it without overloading it too much. Now, shut the flip up, Jonny, and let's have a listen. let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this Overdrive. I personally really like it. I think it sounds fantastic on a P bass. It's a really, really nice Overdrive, and I think the change from when you've got it clean and turned it off to when you punch it in is not too great that it's changing your overall sound, but it's just adding that girth that we all know and love. Personally, my favourite settings were to have the volume boosted just a little bit, about 1 o'clock, the blend at 12 o'clock, the treble either at 12 o'clock or just boosted slightly past that, and the drive at about 3 o'clock. And that's another thing, I think this does a great job at keeping the clarity of all the knobs, keeping the clarity of the note even when you're at full drive. The treble knob I think is really, really good. It's so handy for dialing in a bit more presence. There's so many possibilities you could do with this knob. Why have I've got knobs on the brain? Knobs on the brain. You know, you could have the drive all the way up, the treble all the way up, but the blend quite down. So it's just adding like a bit of almost like a background sound of that overdrive. Or you can have the blend all the way up and have the drive really low so that it is more, it's more present in the signal itself, but it is not very driven. So there are loads of different capabilities and loads of different sounds that you can get out of this small little package. You know, there's nothing wrong with having a small package. I said earlier about it not having a bass knob and that maybe I kind of wish it did, but after playing with it, I just don't feel like it's really necessary. Didn't feel the need to turn down the bass at all or want to turn it up at all. I think it does a really, really good job of retaining the low end. So one thing I will say is that anything before 12 o'clock, there's just not much there. I don't think there's too much usability before 12 o'clock. £85, not really much for what you're getting. So it's that time of the video where you have to hit like and leave a comment down below telling me what you think about this pedal. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.